You guys, I was not expecting for the first episode from season 6 to finally come out on a Wednesday. I was not expecting it to actually happen. But never mind that, we finally have the first episode from season 6. I just finished watching the episode for my first time, and I'll have a video reacting to it over on my other channel, the Maya.B Show Reacts, which is linked in the description. But you guys, this episode was not only comforting, visually amazing, but it made me realize something about myself and about this channel that I'll be talking about more towards the end of this video. So if you've been a viewer of mine here on the channel, if you enjoy my videos at all, then please stay tuned until the end because I do have an important announcement to make. So season 6, episode 1, Climatiqueen, focuses on the character Aurora, also known as Stormy Weather from previous seasons, as she's entered into one of Chloe's contests on social media and is desperate to win this book. Not only has Aurora's design changed, but as well as Chloe's, which you guys know I love. However, Chloe's attitude towards the other heroes still hasn't changed, and she makes that clear in her contest. And while Adrian is scrolling on social media at the very beginning of the episode, we can really see the raw emotions and feelings of the aftermath of Gabriel's death. He scrolls by Alex's video, which focuses on Gabriel, Monarch, and Ladybug, and just seeing that makes me go like, ugh. So, spoiler alert, the episode being called Climatiqueen, Aurora is the one to be akumatized, and she does have a revamped look. However, the episode also follows Adrian trying to discover what it is he's passionate about and how to move on from this traumatic experience and grief that he's feeling. We see Natalie and him having pancakes, to which he compares to his father's, thinking that his aren't as good as Gabriel's, which I think anybody's pancakes can be better than Gabriel's, but just one of the many examples throughout this episode of Adrian feeling self-doubt and confusion about how to move on, how to decide what it is he's passionate about, because all his life, that's been chosen for him. That's been decided for him since day one. And this is just one of many moments in this episode that I think is so relatable for people my age, potentially your age, anyone at the point in life where you're trying to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? And then on top of that, what do I want to do that's going to help me survive in this crazy world? Passion is the key word to describe this episode, and Marinette, having a degree in passionology, does everything that she can to help Adrian figure out what it is he's passionate about. We see him try out a lot of the hobbies that Marinette's interested in, like baking and drawing, but we also see him do some of his previous hobbies, like speaking Japanese, poetry, and more. While all of this is going on, Aurora is feeling doubtful about the contest and her ability to make it to the #1 spot, which is being held by a new character, Diane, which looks so beautiful. The color palette here is just chef kiss. I love the green pants. Green is one of my favorite colors, and this shade of green is just everything. But the hair, the warm pink, orange, oh, it's just so good. Back to Aurora though, her design is so beautiful. And it's interesting to see the character Agli, somebody that was mentioned in episode 4, Daddy Cop, finally making her appearance, which wouldn't have actually been a finally if we'd gotten the first episode originally. It's interesting to see the contrast between the two because we have Aurora, who's like the sun, warm, bright, and then we have Agli, who is just like the moon, darker, emo. I think her design is cute. I think her boots are even cuter, and I feel bad because I've been saying all along that Agli is Cerise disguised at school, which we still haven't seen. After seeing this episode though, I definitely think that she is her own different character and not one of Lila's disguises, but I just couldn't help but get a weird vibe from her because she kind of reminds me of Lila from last season, where she's kind of a little bit latchy with the friendships, and not to mention that she's holding these flowers in her hand, which if you've seen fans bring it up, Lila, Iris, Cerise, all of these names are attached to plants and flowers. So that was like, I'm suspicious. So while Agli is trying to cheer Aurora up, she does mention like, hey, you would never spread gossip about famous people to be famous. And then Aurora's like, And that's when she gets the idea to target Adrian and Marinette because they will never stop being the target of this season and onwards. That is something that I'm not a fan of. I'm just kind of tired of seeing Adrianette's relationship be such a hot topic in Paris. Like, can we just give him a break, please? Please. And so since Aurora is in the same class as Adrian and Marinette, she is taking pictures right, left, and center of them, trying to get all of these bad shots and spread rumors. I'm just saying, if I was Marinette, I would cut her off. I would not be friends with her. What's also interesting is that Marinette has helped Aurora time and time again defend herself from Chloe. So seeing her now in this episode, going back to Chloe, hoping to befriend her, it's just like, what are you doing? We do get this short interaction between Diane and Aurora. The designs this season are just so good, which reminds me that we also get to see Undine in this episode the glow up. But with Diane still holding first place in the contest, Aurora is unhappy and jealous and runs to the bathroom, gets akumatized into Climatiqueen, which is just a new version of Stormy Weather, but hey, she looks cool, she looks pretty. And while I will say that I don't think anything will compare to the fight scenes in the original Stormy Weather episode, what really took me by surprise though in this episode was this moment that Cat Noir has. As soon as I saw this train get thrown at them, I was like, I don't want to see Ladybug use her yo-yo again. Like, that moment is iconic, but I don't want to see it be repeated, you know? So they actually gave Cat Noir a really cool moment where he cataclysms through the train, almost reaches Climatiqueen, and I was just like, what? There's also this epic shot of Astrocat and Cosmobug chasing down Climatiqueen. Pegasus is even called on, and we see his transformation, which is so cool. You know what it reminded me of? Tekna's new transformation from the Winx reboot. Do I have any Winx fans here? I want to hear you in the comments. I want to see the butterfly emojis. But for anybody who's also excited about the Winx reboot, me, his transformation almost felt like Tekna's, not in a way to say that they copied each other, not at all, but in how cool it was and how it focused on like the robotic technology stuff. It was so cool. By the end of the fight though, when Aurora is deakumatized, she does express to Cat Noir that what she really wanted wasn't to win the contest or to be popular, but it was a signed book written by Claudie about space, something that she is incredibly passionate about and rambles to Cat Noir about, but not in a bad way, just in a way to express that she is genuinely so passionate and happy when she's talking about it. And I was so happy to see this moment between Aurora and Cat Noir, because as Cat Noir goes to say, you speak with such passion, and this whole episode has revolved around Adrian not knowing what it is he's passionate about, which I should mention, him being Cat Noir is something he's passionate about. He loves being a hero, he loves being the holder of the Black Cat Miraculous. However, that's something Adrian could never admit to being passionate about, only Cat Noir. That being said, we see Aurora finally posting what it is she loves, and at the same time getting the engagement and love that she wanted so badly throughout the episode from posting something that she genuinely liked, not what she thought was going to go viral or be liked by others. And when Aurora notices the love that her post is getting, she pays most attention to Pegasus, who also liked her post. Whatever the reason may be, this episode was so wholesome, and we do get to see a moment from Chrysalis, which isn't anything new. She's just writing in her journal as she does. Same here, girl, I can relate. And she does go to say next time it'll be her turn, which seems to me like she's targeting Marinette. Ladybug, I don't know, but I have done a whole video breaking this topic down, talking about what I think will be Chrysalis's big plan by the end of this season. So I'll have it linked in the description if you guys want to watch it. So a reoccurring thing for this season are these end scenes that we get at the end of the episodes. And in this case, we get to see Adrian finally realizing what it is he's passionate about, which is running, and we've known this because we've seen episode 3 and onward. But what's so interesting about this scene and the setup of it is that this is when Sublime is actually introduced to us, not in episode 3 but in the first episode. Now I think what Miraculous was trying to do here was set up a little ship war with Adrian and Sublime and Marinette and Adrian, because we do see them running past these two swans, which, you know, swans symbolize romance, love, relationships. But the only reason I'm glad that we didn't get this episode first is because the amount of hate Sublime would have gotten would have been horrendous. But overall, considering that this episode was originally supposed to be the first episode of season 6, the setup for the new season, I think that this episode did a wonderful job at exploring what it is Adrian is feeling and what it looks like for somebody trying to discover what it is they're passionate about. If you've made it to the very end of this video, thank you for watching. Now it is time to do a bit of an announcement. I don't want it to be something dramatic, but I've always put my all into this channel, and I think it's time that I open up about how I've been doing, how I've been feeling, and what changes I'll be making to my channel, the Maya.B show. In order to tell this though, I do want to go back to the beginning. 2022, I was 15 years old when I started posting Miraculous content here, and since then it's been a solid 3, almost 4 years. I was doing YouTube before my Miraculous content came along, but it's been at least 3 years of me doing Miraculous content. And when I started, season 4 was coming out. Now we're on season 6. Multiple specials have come out, the movie, and now I'm 19. By the end of this year, I'll be 20, but I don't even want to think about that. I have a late birthday, okay? So I am very much 19. But with that being said, a lot has changed during the years that I've been doing Miraculous YouTube and content, and when I first started, it was also quarantine, so I had so much free time on my hands, and I was just going full in on YouTube and posting. Nothing made me happier than posting Miraculous videos, doing live streams, unboxings. It was my life, and to this day, it still is somewhat my life. Making these videos and running this channel by myself for the last 3 years has been incredibly time consuming. You know, I look at my schedule and I'm like, okay, there are Miraculous episodes coming out this weekend. I gotta edit my analysis, get it up by this day. And there's a lot of pressure that comes with trying to be as consistent as I have been with Miraculous content, because I not only share analysis videos, but I also try and post every little bit of news, and I try and do it as quickly as I physically and mentally can. That being said, it's taken a toll on me, and I find it so fascinating that one of the lessons in this episode is to create and share what it is you're passionate about. Because for the last couple of days, I've been pondering every hour of the day what to do and how to go about my channel. What I'm trying to say is I can't keep posting as frequently as I've been doing for the last 3 years. I still love watching Miraculous and making these videos on it, but at the same time, I know that I'm not as passionate as I once was about it, and I wouldn't say that I'm burnt out, but I just don't feel the same way about making these videos and as often as I've been doing as I used to. So moving forward, I won't be posting as frequently on this channel as I've been doing, though you guys may have noticed too that I've struggled with consistency here on the channel for a long time, which is a normal thing for almost all YouTubers. But there's been a lot of times where I've just forced myself to make a video and to stay on top of things and to keep up with everything. But you guys know that Miraculous constantly has stuff coming out, whether it's news, new episodes, specials, articles, events, and it's just a lot to keep up with for me, especially that I don't feel the same way about the show that I did when I was 15. So while I still intend on making videos here and there on the episodes, and I'll only be doing so if I genuinely want to, I don't intend on sharing videos on news anymore, and if I do, again, it's genuinely because I'm excited to talk about it. Otherwise, I don't want to post a video on it. And I know this may come as a surprise to most people that have been watching my videos for a long time, but when you do one thing and you do that one thing for what feels like so many years, even if 3, almost 4 years isn't a long time, for me it takes a toll on me. I've always been someone that loves switching up what I'm doing. I mean, before YouTube and before I was able to make an income from YouTube, because I'm fortunate enough to be able to make an income from my videos, I was running a ring business, and before I was doing a ring business, I was a competitive acrobatic gymnast, and before that, I was doing acting, and before that, I've always been doing different things throughout my life, and now I'm at a stage where I just really want a change. I want to be sharing what I'm passionate about, what I'm currently passionate about, because the one thing that is somewhat unfortunate about YouTube, especially when you niche down your channel and your videos, is that people expect you to never change. And that is not to put any blame on anybody. again, these are just my own internal thoughts and pressure that I put on myself. But it's really hard to let down people because I know by doing this, there are people that I'm going to disappoint. But I've been disappointing myself for a long time by not allowing myself to post what it is I want to post, and by just allowing myself to change and to not reject that process. I don't know if anybody watching this video is also my age, 19 or around my age, but it's crazy how fast things pick up. Like, you go from being a teenager to now a young adult. You're a lot more aware now of the pressures coming or that have already come, like financial stress and responsibilities, figuring out what you are going to do with your life, and something that you can do that again will keep you afloat during this crazy time in the world. It's definitely time that I start a new chapter, and while I won't be posting as much on this channel, I still love making YouTube videos. That is something that I don't think will ever change. I love making YouTube videos, I love editing my videos, and I love sharing them on the internet. I mean, I've been doing it since I was like 11, 12 years old when I was a competitive acrobatic gymnast, and even before that. So I intend on sharing a lot more videos on my second channel, Maya.B. Thank you to everyone who has been supporting my channel, whether it's just been a week, a month, a couple of months, years, or since I first started sharing Miraculous videos. It's been a pretty wild journey. I'll forever be grateful for what this show has taught me, showed me, and the friends that I've met along the way. And this isn't a goodbye, but I'm ready to start a new chapter. And while I'll still be on the internet, I just won't be here as often. As always, be sure to let me know your thoughts and theories down below and subscribe for future videos. And an extra special thanks to my Celestial Guardian channel members, and I'll see you guys in the next one.